Do you want to know a cool mental thing that I learned from YouTube Shorts? The moment I went on my vacation, or like a short stream break on October 4th, there was like a really clear dip in the metrics. I want to be clear. Like, I don't really care. I don't think it matters. It's like all that matters to me is locking in. But I thought that was funny because it was just like such a never take breaks moment. What am I doing? But the second funniest thing is YouTube has a little like experimental flag that tries to help you interpret the metrics, and it says, hey, around this time people stop watching as much, therefore your views may be lower. I'm like, cool tooltip. If I guess if I was like 18 years old and doing this, I would drive myself to insanity seeing that. So cool tip. I did not film my clips before leaving. What do you mean? I did a lot of clips before leaving. Oh, you're churning out shit like Dude, USPS merch store banged. More people need to understand that the USPS has amazing merch. The United States Postal Service. How could you not look at Mr. Zip and say you don't want to buy that immediately? Farley? Anthropomorphized mail drop-off? I'm not being paid by the government. I'm not kidding. USPS banged. For me, it's definitely more funny than anything. Like, hey, thanks, YouTube, for that tip. I think it is partially, like, my mentality, no matter... Even if it's has something to do with the month, or if it has something to do with an algorithm change, or if it has something to do with, like, I don't know, like, something basically out of my control, right? Like, YouTube changed something. I can't ever let myself think that that's the case, because it will just drive you crazy. You're just, like, completely reading a black box, and it'll drive you absolutely crazy. So I just have to lock in on, like, work on things I find interesting and make sure other people find it interesting. That's like the only thing I can do. Like creating on content for fun. Yeah, exactly. If you're not having fun, then... I mean, if people do it for a job, more power to them, but I have a job and I know what a job is like. I don't need to 2x my job in that sense. If you completely numbers max, no more power to you, but you don't want to get into a trap to say, for example, right? Like I could numbers max with just doing tutorials. But imagine if my livelihood depended on doing tutorials. And now I know for some people that's like totally fine and chill. But for me, I would not like that. I would kind of lose my mind if it was like, oh, this month's tutorial did not hit. That would drive me crazy. I would actually go out and seek a normal job. So that's not the point of what we're doing here. Yeah, when it comes to daily income, it can be a big source of stress for sure. The sad reality is finances can dictate a lot of your mental well-being. It's not just like doing what you enjoy. So that is a big part of it. Money buys freedom, exactly. It doesn't buy happiness, it buys freedom. Though I have thought about, I'm going to use this word just very loosely. This is not a judgment word. I have thought about doing slop content for fun. Or sorry, for fun / profit. Dude, okay, sorry. I'm gonna take a little deviation on this talk. It is like kind of... Oh, I'm dead. It's kind of gross that like the Sigma hustle culture of Silicon Valley is like is starting to overlap with like YouTube stuff, which is inevitable. It's fine. But I saw a tweet today that was like face camless videos are the way to like financial freedom, and the guy's like, here are 10 content types that can like earn you a ton of revenue on YouTube, and it literally is like chalk cutting, slime, you know, which are fine, but it's like, dude, what are we doing? What are we doing out here? It pays hard. I mean, yeah, I guess it's like a very niche opportunity in this point in time, but it's such a weird reality we live in. Yeah, I only saw it because Atriarch bumped it, I think. Because he was like, this is not going to employ 20 million people or something. Well, exchanging your dignity from profit is like what a lot of people do. So let's not get it twisted in the sense that like you're above something if you're not doing YouTube slop. Because like you could either do that or work like an office job, which some people may also find slightly degrading. So I'm not, you know, I'm not hating. It's just... weird that someone... Maybe another way to put this is Elon Musk has like completely, maybe an actual genius. Not, I know this is okay. Well, that's gonna get totally fucking clipped out of context. Maybe a very evil genius, but like incentivizing, like adding monetization to Twitter Blue created an insane marketplace and incentive for people to just write the most insane shit on the internet. Like, I can clearly see when someone is starting to, like, monetize posts on Twitter, if that makes sense. We can't live life without some form of regret. It's a matter of choosing which sin you can live with. Dude, you gotta be streaming. Like, I'm here just saying stupid words, and you're leaving, like, scripture in the chat. You're crazy. I was talking to a friend who does a lot of, I mean, he basically does like a lot of startups, and you know, he is he's definitely like trying to max, you know, I want to get a big payout and chill. And I'm like, okay, what would you do if you chilled? We had a really good conversation about that. For me, I think I would actually try to make music as much as possible, and probably keep streaming. Like, those are just the two things I do. I know you shouldn't really like compare or romanticize your life compared to someone else, but the one thing I saw at one point, I'm like, oh, that seems kind of sick, like a sick way to live your life, was I think LilyPichu just like kind of streams, make videos, and like makes music and sometimes throws a concert. I'm like, that's kind of sick. I mean, that's a sick lifestyle right there. Do what makes you happy and you'll never work a day in your life. Sometimes it's a chore to yell at you guys. Say that if you have to yell at a couple hundred people to fire on Sector D4. And they're talking about busting open that bug gussy.
My god, look at the thorax and mandibles on that bug.
Shut up and fire on B5!
Commander, I meet a
I'm begging you!
And he wants your permission to marry
everything
me.
Hangs in the balance! I'm taking command, you're driving me insane. Commander. People say they want to have money and freedom and then what? Just rust in a mansion? I think the issue in those situations, if people chase finances, sometimes they really lock in on just that, and they don't develop stuff outside of that life, right? Because you really have to lock in sometimes. And it's really easy to get lost in the sauce. Life's life, dude. You do have to enjoy life. It's cliche to say, but you gotta figure out what you enjoy. I do think the arts are like important for your spirit. That's why I think kind of the Grindset culture is a little... There are merits to it, but it can be a little deceiving because if you are doing business stuff constantly, it hits all your dopamine, it hits all your satisfaction parts of your brain, because it can hit, I think, the creative and artsy parts of your brain, because you do have to problem solve some crazy shit sometimes. What am I looking for? And so you won't feel the need to do something that's more like in the arts. But but let's say you sell your business, all of that will go away at once. That's the thing. All of that will go away at once. You won't be left with just the creative bits. Like, it all goes away, and then you have to find out what's next. All right, I didn't mean to go too much in the life stuff. I don't think I have any profound, super deep life takes. I think I have pretty normal ones. The issue is that it's simple but not easy. If you ever watched that John Carmack speech, when he would... John Carmack, one of the genius programmers on Doom, the genius programmer on Doom, he started an aviation company. He started actually aerospace company. He was sending stuff into space. And there's a speech he was giving at one conference, or not conference. He just won like an award for sending something into space really efficiently. I don't know if he got a contract from that, but he, you know, he did something great in the field of engineering. And he opens the speech with, rocket science is actually pretty easy. No, sorry. Rocket science is actually pretty simple. Rocket science is really, really simple. It's just not easy.
Founded Armadillo Aerospace, we started building a lot of rocket ships, and we've gone through dozens and dozens of different things. And I have to modify that position a little bit now, in that it still really isn't that complicated. It is simple compared to a lot of things that we do nowadays in the modern world. I mean, the work that I do in video games is actually far more complicated than the aerospace work. But the aerospace work, while it may be simple, is not easy. And that's an interesting point where we can sketch out all of our vehicle subsystems essentially on the back of a napkin. I can draw it all out and say, this is how the vehicle works. This is how they've worked for the last several years after we sort of stabilized on our current path. But making them actually work reliably every single time, that actually has a lot of challenges to it.
Like, okay. Okay, dude. Ornamental egg. What the? Oh my god! Dude, that guy actually scared me.